Hello and welcome little scientists to this week's episode of Stay at Home Science, brought to you by the South Brunswick Public Library. I'm Allie and today we'll be learning about air pressure in our upside down water glass experiment. Let's gather our supplies. We'll only be using 3 common household items. We'll be needing water, a glass cup or jar, and the trick to this experiment comes down to the kind of paper you use. So you can use a normal piece of paper, but I would recommend using a thicker, stiffer paper. So for instance, using a note card or index card, or an old greeting card, maybe a thin piece of cardboard, or if you have it, some kind of cardstock. Whatever kind of paper you choose to use, you want to make sure that it's bigger than the mouth of the cup. So for instance, this one works perfect. But if you were to have a note card or index card, it's a lot smaller than the mouth of the cup. So I just take 2 small index cards to make a large one. That way it's much larger than the mouth of the cup. And as always, don't forget to grab a grown-up. Before we get started, I would also recommend doing this experiment over a sink or some kind of bowl. That way, if anything goes wrong or some of the water leaks, it's easy to clean up. Alright little scientists, let's get started. First thing we're going to do after we choose the kind of paper that we're going to use is we're going to grab our glass and we're going to fill it all the way up to the top with water. So you don't want to stop there, you want to continue all the way up to the top. I'm going to stop here. And then once you have your cup full of water, I'm going to put our bowl here, or if you're doing this over the sink, you want to place your cup and paper next to the sink so you're ready to go. You're going to grab your piece of paper and place it right on top, right in the middle. And then you're going to take the palm of your hand and you're going to place it like that, and then we're going to flip everything over. So ready? Flip. So you might have some water leak out, and that's okay, but we're going to take our hand off, and 1, 2, make sure it's over the bowl. Okay, that didn't work. It might have been because the paper was too thick. So let's try a different kind of paper. All right, little scientists, let's try this again. I have another cup of water here filled all the way to the top, and this time I'm gonna use the index card. Like I said earlier, I only had 2 smaller ones, so I just taped them together. Hopefully that works. So just as before, we're gonna place it on top. We're gonna put our palm down. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And let go. There we go. It works. And you will get some water dripping out from the sides, but that's okay. It still works. And this will work until your paper becomes too saturated to hold the water. You would think the water would push the index card or paper out of the way immediately, but it doesn't. It may seem like magic, but we know it's science. Let me explain why our upside down water glass experiment works. Let's learn the science behind how this works. It might look like magic, but we know it's science. There are several forces working here. One of the most important is air pressure. Air pressure can be found all around us. At sea level, there's 14.7 pounds of air pressure on every square inch of our body. We usually only notice air pressure when it changes. For instance, when we go to higher places where the air pressure is lower, like when we travel on a plane or even an elevator. That same air pressure that's all around us is what's working to hold up the card. Because we filled the entire glass with water, we see that there's only a small area of air. Our paper is working to block the way so more air is not able to fill the glass. This means there's only enough air molecules to make a small pocket of low air pressure. Because there aren't as many air molecules inside the glass, you aren't able to make a high air pressure area like you are outside the glass where there's more air molecules. So the high air pressure outside holds the card up, and the low air pressure inside the glass prevents the water's weight from pushing the card down. What's also working in this experiment is adhesion and surface tension, which we've learned about in our past experiments. Adhesion is a force that has water molecules be attracted to other surfaces, so the water is attaching itself to the paper, sticking itself to it, while surface tension has water molecules attracted to each other, so they stick together. Both are working to keep the paper in place. So when you can get the mixture of air pressure, adhesion, and surface tension just right, you're able to get this experiment to work. But as we see, sometimes these forces aren't enough and gravity wins over. Alright, little scientists, thanks so much for joining me on this episode of Stay at Home Science. I hope you enjoyed our upside down water glass experiment. As you saw, there was a lot of trial and error, and that's what's fun about experiments, trying out different things to see what works. Sometimes your experiments don't go as planned, and you won't always get the result you're looking for on the first try, but just keep trying. If you do try this out at home, please send us a picture or a video. We'd love to see how yours turns out. You can send it to my email or tag us on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our Facebook page for more updates and content. Until next time, bye. 3, 2, 1. This time it worked a little bit better. And I think I spoke too soon.